Welcome back. We are the Bonsai, and changing it up this week. We are the Bonsai Movie Crew.
Indeed.
We are.
Not this is, but we are.
We're the only ones.
Anyway, welcome back, where we discuss a new movie every week. And this week, before we get to that, though, let me rein it in a little bit.
We're going a little farther.
Yeah, we're gonna rein it in a little bit.
Whoa there.
Yeah.
Be a
Don't forget to
short
check out our TikTok and our X.
Is there going to be a lot of them?
I'm sure there are. It's TikTok. I'm sure there's all kinds of skanks on there trying to make a buck.
Oh.
That's what we're missing on there. I should be putting some nudity out there.
Well, get
Just-
Crystal ready.
Yeah, all she gotta do is show off her feet.
I'll, just,
Oh.
That's what people are into nowadays.
I'll whip out a titty. We'll be all right.
Guess if it's a man or a woman.
That'd be hilarious.
That's a hairy nipple.
The weekly bonsai game. Is it a girl or a boy?
A girl or a boy. Don't forget to check out our Facebook. And, of course, our YouTube and our Rumble. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This video, other videos, all videos. And tell your friends about us so you can spread the wealth of greatness and hilarity that will ensue with every video.
Ensue. That's a big word, Dad. You sure you can
It's
handle
really
it?
not that big of a word. It's a pretty small word.
Okay, it's not a commonly used word. Are you sure you can handle it?
I'm surprised you even know anything remotely that big in your vocabulary.
I do. Thank you. I mean, I'd hope so. You were my teacher for like 4 years.
I'm okay. Anyway, don't forget to comment on the videos and tell all your friends about us and your mommies and your daddies, or your daddies and
kind
your
of
daddies
daddies?
and your mommies and your mommies, whatever. Don't tell Granny about us,
I mean, if you're talking about sugar daddies, at least they can send us some money.
or your sugar daddies, yeah, sugar mamas.
I can
whatever
send you
got.
guys money, but I'm a minor, so I'd rather not.
You just
They
give the
say
money
we
to
have
me.
do anything. They just pay us for our podcast.
Yeah, just
Shit.
give me the money.
Oh, then free money? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
In all fairness, Joseph should get the money for a little while.
Yeah.
yeah. We got new lights.
Woo!
Anyway,
You need a clapping.
they're
thing.
really bright.
He got
Yeah.
tired of the
Yeah,
batteries dying.
one of the bumps should be an
Yeah.
applause thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
Screw him.
Yeah,
That's
you
not
gotta,
you
you gotta
either.
get used to it.
I
Oh,
don't give a fuck, Keisha.
God damn it!
It literally
I'll
says
figure
which
this out.
one it is. 8.
Here, yeah,
Groovy.
There you go.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Got a new app. We're working out the
Yeah, we're
kinks.
working out the kinks in this. All right, hold on. This is good.
Well, Lottie frickin' God.
All right. Anyway, all right. Let's get into our creator profile this week. This week we're doing, and because we're doing Tremors this week, we're doing Kevin Bacon. All right, Kevin Bacon. Name Kevin Bacon. Who would have thought? He was born July 8th, 1958. He's kind of old. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Aging really
You
well,
didn't number
though.
the pages
has,
this
yeah.
time.
There's one fucking page there that you have to read. I think you'll be okay.
I forgot what place that was though.
Jesus. That's it. That's the only That's
the
it.
only
You
place.
read first.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's a
Just let me
short
get
story.
let me get through this. We're not doing this again, Madison.
3 hours later.
All right. So
Once
Kevin
upon a
Bacon's
time.
film career started with 1978's National Lampoon's Animal House, but it was 1984's Footloose that made him a pop culture icon. They don't even mention Friday the 13th.
I don't
Them
blame him.
Assholes.
He was cranked out, or he has cranked out endless flicks. He was cranked out.
Got some good old cranking going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And in 2013, transitioned into full-time television star with the eerie crime series The Following, which is a good show. And
It was pretty good.
I
Yeah.
hated that they canceled. I think
It got stale towards the end, but it really
it got
started out
stale
very
because they killed off
strong.
the main antagonist.
Exactly.
And it just wasn't
Exactly.
cool anymore.
Yeah, it was a really good show though.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon was awesome in that.
Maybe they had
Mhm.
plans to bring the main antagonist back. You
Nope.
don't know.
They couldn't
No,
have.
they killed him off. He was dead.
They
You
killed
don't
And
know
like
that.
DED
They
dead, they
could've-
couldn't. No, like DED
He
dead.
was
He
killed.
couldn't come back.
He was killed.
He kilt.
was
Okay,
kilt.
see that's the language I
Yeah.
kilt.
DED
Ba-
kilt.
Bacon is married to actress Kira Sedgwick, which is his cousin. He's also inspiration behind the popular pop culture game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. In his early life, Bacon was born Kevin Norwood Bacon. Norwood Bacon. That's such a stupid middle name.
Norwood.
In July 8th, 1958, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to urban planner architect Edmund Bacon. And just Bacon is great. I love Bacon. And teacher and social activist Ruth Hilda Holmes. He is the youngest of 6 children, having the call to acting at a young age. Bacon attended the Pennsylvania Governor's School for the Arts, the Manning Street Actors Theater in Philadelphia, and the Circle in the Square Theater School in New York City's Greenwich Village. Bacon busted into movies as an ROTC cadet and fraternity pledge in the 1978 comedy National Lampoon's Animal House. He went on to roles in the horror classic Friday the 13th in 1980 and Diner in 1982,
They did mention it.
along with the soap opera Guiding Light. I didn't know he was in Guiding Light. And the stage productions of 40 Deuce, which netted him an OBIE award. I don't know what that means or what that is. And Broadway's The Slab Boys. When then came a part with which the actor would forever be associated as rebellious city teen Ren McCormick, who wages war against a small town banning rock music and dancing in 1984's Footloose. Bacon will always be remembered for his characters over the top dance scenes. Yeah, that movie. I don't know what it is about that movie. It just drives me nuts.
Which one?
Like
Footloose?
Footloose. Like
Yeah,
they ban rock music and dancing.
I've
Like,
never seen it because I think it's ridiculous.
It's a very ridiculous concept.
Yeah, I think it'd just be dumb. So I don't.
I've seen it before, but it's been a really long time ago.
Normally, I don't like judge movies just based
Right.
on that. You know what I mean? But like the few scenes I've seen, I'm just like
the dance scene through the foundry or whatever. He's like just going ham dancing, like just dancing.
I can't.
Like, what the fuck are you
I
doing?
can't take it seriously at all.
I just remember the song because my grandma had a record.
Yeah, I
player with a
mean the
record
song
of
is
it.
fine. I don't mind the song, but
I just
like,
don't get why it's
She
such
said,
a.
I don't mind the song.
I don't mind the song. It's the it's just ridiculous.
Just don't dance to
It
it.
is.
Yeah, don't dance to it, damn it.
You better start dancing now.
Karen
I
is
No.
got 2 left.
one of those
Nobody-
people that band dancing. You know what it reminds me of every time is Hot Rod, where he dances through the woods.
Yeah.
He had to dance it out.
I think that that's probably a reference, actually.
Oh,
Now that I
totally
think-
is.
You
Yeah,
know,
it
now that I
totally
think
is.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Massive
fucking great.
mountain hill.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Jackson is obsessed. Used to be obsessed with that movie.
That was one of those movies that just came out at the wrong time. That's why it
Oh,
did
for
so
sure.
badly. You know,
Yeah.
if it came out now.
I
Well,
love
maybe
that
not
movie.
now.
I loved it the first time I
it
seen
wouldn't
it.
do so
Yeah,
well now.
really,
It
but-
would like
Yeah.
back in the earlier '90s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that
later '90s.
I think
and
people
early
crave
2000s.
movies like that nowadays, though. They want more of that because they don't get it anymore.
Yeah, if it
Nah.
came out like on a
You gotta think
on
of
a
the
platform,
generation of the
not-
kids that.
Yeah,
you know what I
maybe.
mean?
Yeah. All right. After
That's the
Footloose
sad part.
came a string of mediocre movies for Bacon, including Quicksilver and She's Having a Baby. He enjoyed more success with the horror films Tremors and Flatliners in 1990. Flatliners is a great movie.
it is a very good movie.
Before playing a gay hustler in Oliver Stone's JFK the following year. Suddenly, the actor found himself in a slew of memorable movies, co-starring with what seemed like everyone in Hollywood. A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise, a Golden Globe nominee role in The River Wild, which is actually got has really shitty reviews, but is a good movie.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's got Meryl Streep in it. Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks and Sleepers with Sean Penn.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah, that's a very good movie. Sean Penn, Tim Robbins and Robert De Niro.
And he played such a creepy
Oh, he's such a creepy motherfucker
Ugh.
in that one. Following the sexually...
I think that's one of the things I really love about him is he doesn't turn down roles just because they're...
Not him, yeah.
Yeah, like... And that, you have to really respect somebody that is like, you know... They don't turn down roles just because...
And he plays a good guy as well. He plays a good guy as well as a good bad guy.
Yeah, that's why
he's a guy that's pretty versatile in both.
That's why I've always liked him for Freddy.
Yeah.
Like, I think he would be very good for that role. He's just getting up there, so maybe he can't do it now. But, I mean, yeah. He's always been able to do it just as well, like you said.
Yeah, he's always been like... he played a bad guy in X-Men. He was a bad guy in that. He's been a bad guy. He was bad man in Hollow Man or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that was really good too.
He was good in that. He plays a good bad guy.
He does.
Can you imagine having Chris Pratt play Freddy Krueger?
No, I couldn't
Not
imagine that.
That'd be an awful choice. Awful choice.
Be kind
Watch him play as him and then like do amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
comical.
where did I stop at? Okay, so following the sexually tinged neo-noir Wild Things, Bacon returned to horror fare by headlining Stir of Echoes, which is also a good movie, and Hollow Man. He displayed... I'm not big on supernatural movies, but that's a good movie.
Stir of Echoes is my favorite Kevin
Stir of
Bacon
Echoes
movie.
is a good movie. He displayed a penchant for playing dark, troubled characters in the critically acclaimed Mystic River and The Woodsman.
That's
the latter
really good
also
one.
featured his wife, Sedgwick. Bacon then reteamed with his other half as director of Loverboy and went on to a prominent supporting role in Frost Nixon. The actor earned strong reviews for portraying
He's
a
an
U.S.
actor.
Don't interrupt me. For a review, God damn it! Shut the fuck up, Madison. The actor earned strong reviews for portraying a U.S. Marine who turns the remains of a fallen soldier in the 2009 drama Taking Chance, resulting in a Screen Actors Guild Award and first Golden Globe win of his career. He also impressed as the villainous Sebastian Shaw in X-Men First Class 2011 and followed with the largely well-received romantic comedy Crazy Stupid Love, though a return to comic book inspiration Mayhem and R.I.P.D. fell flat because that movie sucked. There's another one where he played a bad guy. The year 2013 also saw Bacon embark on his first small-screen starring role with the following. He played Ryan Hardy, a former FBI agent trying to recapture a sociopath with a cult of groupies during the 3-season run of the crime drama. Back on the big screen, the actor commuted with the theme of law enforcement in Black Mass, about the criminal activities of mob boss Jamie Whitey Bulger, and Patriots Day, about the 2013 Boston Marathon bombings. Bacon's new TV role was playing an artist cowboy who becomes the mutual infatuation for a husband and wife in the offbeat comedy I Love Dick. You giggle at everything that people say. She just...
That one.
I mean, that's the point of the name of the show.
I know.
Oh my god.
It was random. I didn't expect you to say that.
He scored the third Golden Globe
If somebody else
nomination.
were reading it, you would have laughed at that one. Come on.
You would
Not the point, Karen. We're all adults
do as
here.
I say, not as I do.
You consider yourself and Eric an adult?
No.
Maybe not Eric, but...
No. I don't even consider myself as an adult.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got the most kids.
He's got to be a kid to get along with as a kid.
He's the one raising the next generation, like the most of them.
No wonder we're all going wrong.
He's got like fucking 14% of the next generation living in his house.
Yep.
All right.
You're all-
And again, I had to take something away from him before we started.
Take away my light.
The boogeyman's gonna get us.
he scored the third Golden Globe nomination of his career, though the show failed to get picked up for a second season. Undeterred, Bacon returned to scripted TV the following year in Showtime City on
He's
a
not
Hill
touching you.
as a veteran FBI agent and forced to accommodate an ambitious new Boston district attorney. The actor then made his first big screen appearance in 4 years alongside Amanda Seyfried in the haunted house horror flick You Should Have Left.
Your wife?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bacon and Sedgwick met while doing American Playhouse's production of Lemon Sky in 1987 and married the following year. Bacon even directed Sedgwick on occasion, including several episodes of her series The Closer. This long-standing celebrity couple has raised 2 kids together, Travis and Sosie. Sosie's actually an actor herself. She was in Smile.
Mm-hmm.
And overcome major challenges, including losing a significant amount of money to Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. In the mid-1990s, following the success of the stage play 6 Degrees of Separation, a group of college friends introduced the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon book and parlor game, which tasks participants with linking the actor to other Hollywood stars and the fewest connections. Although he claimed to have been horrified by the idea at first, Bacon eventually became a fan of the game. In 2007, he began an online nonprofit venture capitalizing on this name, 6degrees.org. The Bacon Brothers Band. When not acting or spending time with his family,
They made the bacon.
this Bacon! I love bacon! The celeb makes folk rock music with his brother Michael Bacon and Emmy Award-winning composer. Their band, the Bacon Brothers, released their 8th album in 2018. This outlet fits Bacon's innovative side in ways acting doesn't. I don't create the movies I'm in, he told Billboard.com in 2012. When it comes to music, it's my clothes, it's my guitar, it's my voice, it's my song. So there you go. That's Kevin Bacon. Sorry, I'm not a very good reader today.
That was neat.
We
I
all
like
have
that.
issues.
But
Okay, Dad, we know you're drunk.
Kevin Bacon.
Little off subject, but my favorite thing with Kyra Sedgwick was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when was her name Wench or
Yeah,
Wench?
wasn't she the other chief or something? Like
yeah,
she was
and,
or the commissioner or something
yeah,
like that?
and the guy hated her, and they would and they
Mhm.
hated each other, and they would just
Yeah.
go back and forth.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. I don't mind Kara Sedgwick.
No, I don't
she's
mind
done
her
a lot
either.
of good shit.
She was also in that Villains movie, which was really, really good.
She was also in the game or whatever with
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she was in
Michael
that.
Douglas.
no, not that
No,
one.
not that one.
Or not, sorry. Was it the game? It's not the game. It's
That's the only game I know.
what the fuck is the name of that movie with Gerard Butler where he's part of the games or whatever, and she's like in that real life, or his wife's in the simulator.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Is Gamer?
Gamer. Yeah,
Oh
Gamer.
no, I hadn't seen that one.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent movie. Anyway, speaking of Kevin Bacon, this week we are doing, or no, sorry, we need to do.
Calm down.
Yeah,
Calm down.
I'm prematurely going. Sorry.
Speaking of I love dick.
Yeah, speaking of I love dick. Anyway, let's see what everybody's been watching this week.
What the hell have you been watching?
Let's start with Karen.
Whose line? Oh, I got back into that.
It's mine.
Buddy games. Because he was talking about the other day. I thought I'd
What
give
the
it.
heck?
It's pretty funny.
Is it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That's because comedy movies don't have to have a large budget to be
And
funny.
they don't like. I don't understand why most of those guys don't get bigger roles. I know why Dax Shepard doesn't, because he would rather be with his family and stuff, so he doesn't want like a commanding schedule. But that was really funny and really entertaining. I really watch it.
Watch it.
Yeah, Evil Lives Here. It's a true crime show. Eden Lake.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I've seen it before, I think, because it seemed really familiar. But the end really sold it for me.
Okay, I want to check it out.
I
don't remember.
liked
Do we
it.
still have it in the box?
I liked it.
Or did we take it
I
out?
have to look. I'll look here in a minute. Scare Package was the Joe Bob movie.
Oh fuck me.
What is Joe Bob
On the
mean
third
again?
watch, and listening to him talk about it, I've got a more better love for it. Listening to him talk about the reasons why.
Because he was in it.
No, more so like the like them making it, like the reasons why they did this or like that or whatever. Yeah, I couldn't explain it as well as he does. That's why it's his job to do that kind of stuff. And Death to Smoochie. Jeremiah had never seen
That's
it.
a classic.
It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, that's all I watched.
All right, Madison.
I watched Cobra Kai. I've been watching it. You know that. I was
Again.
watching it while making dinner. You know what? It's a good show.
I think I stopped watching after the second season.
It's
I
not
just
in the
haven't
box.
gotten back into it.
It's a good show. I've seen
It
all the
is.
seasons.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten into it again.
I just don't think that anybody in the show's a good actor. I think they're all terrible actors.
That's the point, Dad.
That is not the point. That is not the point.
I know.
They're
Just
all
trying to make up
terrible actors.
excuses.
And they gave that main kid
Miguel.
They gave him. He's in that Blue Beetle movie. I'm like, he's not even a good actor. Why is he getting superhero budget movies now?
I missed it. What did you watch?
No, Madison.
Oh,
No.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Don't look at me,
Oh, sorry. I'm not even
piece
interested.
of shit.
Oh. I also watched a couple episodes of Stranger Things with Garrett because that's what he was watching over the weekend. And that's it though.
Can't go wrong with
I'm
that.
pretty sure.
Eric.
I still haven't
Stranger
started
Things. I
watching
love
I know.
Stranger Things.
I just haven't picked it up.
What? Eric or
Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Stranger Things?
You still haven't watched that?
I've been thinking
Didn't you
about.
say like a year ago that you wanted to watch that?
He wants to wait until it's over and then watch the whole
It is over.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was over.
There's another season.
I was
Coming
thinking
out.
about picking
Not
up
yet.
The Strained again.
I never finished
I
that.
haven't watched
Neither
it.
have I. I started.
I've seen the
watching it
first
and then,
season and part of the second season, and I don't know why I quit watching it. It was fucking
it
good.
was same here. Like,
was fucking
that
good.
First episode really hooked.
Oh
you
yeah,
in, and
dude.
you just-
And it's not like a light show at all. It is.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
Like
I kept meaning to watch it. Does
yeah,
that
it is
count?
dark.
It's-
There's no happy ending either.
No.
There's no. I mean, at least for the
It's kind of
first.
like a Black Mirror. Like I can remember.
I
like,
mean,
one or
no.
two
Well, it's a
episodes that-
vampire. It's about vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
like a
made by
vampire
Guillermo del
disease.
Toro, I think.
Yeah,
Isn't it Guillermo del Toro that
Yeah.
makes it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
or he was a producer or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Somebody said that it started off real strong, then it ended real weak. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, it did
I
start
haven't-
off strong, and then it kind of like went
Phased
down.
out.
But still, though, like the concept, and then
I think the problem
They
is
had-
with most shows like that is that they go too long. That's why Schitt's Creek,
The
like they were
Strain
like, no, we're picking a season and we're done. Like
yeah,
we're not
a
gonna
lot
keep
of shows
going.
have been doing that
I don't
lately.
think
Yeah.
the strain really went on that long. I think it was.
I think it was only like 3
seasons.
seasons. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it didn't go
Yeah.
on for very long.
I don't
Like I
know.
said, it started off real strong. It had a great.
That was my
concept,
theory. I
and
don't
then
know.
just-
I don't
I
I know the
nowhere.
second season is like about what happens. Like essentially, there's like a fucking vampire apocalypse,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's fucking wild, man. It's a good show though. I ought to pick it back. I should just
Yeah.
rewatch the whole
What's
thing.
it
That's what
called?
I said. I thought about
Strain.
picking it back up again.
I feel like Ada would like that.
It's like about vampires. It's about this. I think he's a cop. Is he not a cop?
No, he was a disease control.
Yeah, and like he's got a
CDC?
strained marriage because he had an affair, and it's Corey Stoll is the main character.
Oh, really?
He's got
Okay.
hair at first. It's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah. So like, and then like it goes into the second season and everything. Like his son's in it, and it's involved with his son, and it's crazy. It's a good show though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't checked, like, especially since you're into horror shit, like,
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely.
like-
It
Sort
was
of
on my
pick up.
watch list. I just never got around to it.
I would check it
like I
out.
said, I was thinking about starting to watch it again. So movies I watched Red 1 and 2.
Oh.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Then I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Have you not seen that?
No, I watched it with the kids. I was waiting to watch it with them.
It was a good movie. I thought
Yeah,
I liked
it
it.
was-
I thought it was
it
the
was
best
pretty
one.
And then I finished the Mandalorian
Bless
I
you.
haven't seen.
last season.
I think I saw the first 2 seasons. I haven't even
I
watched
think
the
it's
past.
only 3.
Yeah, I haven't even watched
I
the
just
third one.
finished the third season of it.
I don't even know if I finished. Yeah, I did finish the second season because Luke Skywalker's at the end of the second
Yeah.
season.
And then you gotta watch the Book of Boba Fett before you.
I don't
watch
want.
the third
That's why I
season.
stopped because I'm like, I don't want to get into this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Because they're treating Star Wars like they are every other fucking property Disney is. Like, how much can we fucking cash grab the shit out of this?
They're just going through all
So.
the lore of.
Yeah,
Star
I'm
Wars.
good. I don't need to. I'm good.
And then I started watching the Ahsoka.
See, I want to
Wars
watch that,
Ahsoka.
but only because of Rosario Dawson. That's it. Like, other than that, dude, like, I could care less about that character or any of it.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool that she's getting good work. So because
Yeah.
she's awesome,
Who?
Rosario Dawson,
The
And
main
what's the show
character,
called?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, Star Wars.
Oh.
And that's all I watched this week.
I didn't watch much of anything. I watched a couple episodes of Supernatural, and we watched The Meg 2,
I
Which is
watched the
a big
end of that.
a big shark movie about the megalodons. Which, if you're in, like, at first I was like, this movie's gonna be stupid because I didn't even like the first one that much, but this one goes more over the top than the first one did. This one like trumps the first one by like a mile. Like, this movie's ridiculous, especially at the end. Like, the last like 30 minutes of the movie is fucking ridiculous. You're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, Jason Statham, he kills megalodon sharks. There's nothing that can kill that man.
It's
true.
So
Has he ever died in a show before?
in a movie, I'm
What's
sure
the
he
one where
has.
his heart was gonna stop if
Crank?
he slowed down?
Crank.
Yeah, Crank.
Yeah.
So
But there
he-
was a Crank too.
But he didn't
Yeah,
die because
yeah.
there was.
right, but
The
he.
second
I mean,
one.
he technically did die, and then he was brought back for Crank 2, and
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
technically.
I don't know that he has ever. I don't think I've ever seen him die anything. Maybe, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Huh.
Yeah, watch it if you want to watch Jason Statham fight megalodon sharks, because that's the thing, you know. And an giant octopus is in there.
Just seeing him like
called a kraken,
punch a
Dad.
shark in the nose.
It's not a kraken.
Oh, never mind.
It's a fucking octopus.
It's a kraken.
But
Wow.
anyway,
If
yeah,
it's
that's what we
giant
watched.
and it's trying to eat people on land, it's a kraken.
A kraken is essentially just a much larger octopus. A kraken can swallow a ship.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Oh.
that wasn't a kraken.
That's a baby kraken. Get it right.
No, the baby kraken is the one that you ever seen that? There's like it says release the kraken, and a baby comes in like rolling on its head, like a literal baby.
No.
It's hilarious.
No,
I'll
not a
send it to
ba-
you sometime.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, his head.
It's a
too,
literal
too
baby,
heavy
and
for
he's
him.
and he's like he got it on the ground, and he's like walking in the room. It's pretty funny. I'll send it to you sometime. It literally makes me laugh every time I see it.
Yeah, because it starts out release the kraken, and then you just see this. Baby
It's like
go across-
epic, and it's just a baby. It's funny as hell.
The things that entertain us as adults.
It's true. Sorry. I'm
All
sure some of
right.
you have seen it.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I can't talk. I can't literally talk to them.
You
I
guys
can't-
can talk to us, right? About anything. You can talk to us about anything. We're here for your emotional support.
And
Right,
if, you
guys?
Give
don't,
us a comment.
Right, guys?
if you don't want to say it like
I don't
out
give
loud,
a fuck, Keisha.
this is why nobody
don't
talks.
care
This is
about
why we can't have
them?
nice things, Joseph.
You don't care about them?
Oh, mi scusi.
I'm making
All right. Anyway, let's move on here.
Let's talk about the movie.
Let's get into our movie this week. This week we watched Tremors from what year? Let me see that paper.
Hold on.
I've got the whole thing right here.
1990.
1990.
Yeah, 1990.
Madison's gonna read us the.
I
full-
am.
She's got the description.
Go
over there.
nuts.
Yeah. Nuts. See, I'm gonna do it to her now.
Oh God.
It's great.
You're terrible.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not blind. Tremors is a 1990 American Western-themed monster horror comedy film directed by Ron Underwood, produced by Brent Maddox
God,
and
hurry
S.S.
up.
Wilson, and written by Maddox, Wilson, and Underwood. Tremors was released by Universal Pictures and stars Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Ben Carter, Michael Gross?
Sure.
Okay. And Reba McIntyre.
Reba Mac.
McIntyre.
That's what I said. McIntyre. In the film, tired of their dull lives in the small desert town of Perfection, Nevada, repairman Val McKee Bacon and Earl Bassett Ward try to skip town. However, they happen upon a series of mysterious deaths, and concerned seismologist Rhonda Carter, studying unnatural readings below the ground with the help of eccentric survivalist.
Eccentric.
That's what I said, eccentric. Survivalist couple Bert and Heather Gummer. Yeah. Gross and McIntyre. The group fights for survival against the giant worm-like monster hungry for human flesh. The film is first installment of the Tremors franchise and was followed by 5 direct-to-video sequels. Oh my god, why? And 1 prequel.
Yeah, we're not going to talk
Tremors
about
2.
those.
There's only one, and that wasn't even the greatest.
The second one wasn't terrible.
Terrible, but it wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad either.
They should have stopped it through the first.
It was entertaining enough for what it was. If you wanted more Tremors, I guess, then that's your second
I thought it
dose.
was stupid that they did a whole entire life cycle. Like, just leave them as worms. Like, it was scary.
I didn't like
way.
that. But then they get into like the ass blasters
Yeah, that was so stupid.
and all that shit too, and everything else. Like they're flying now, and
It was a
gets
life
ridiculous.
cycle, Joseph.
Well, then like also like there's also the one where they go back into the Old West, and they're apparently they exist in the Old West, but nobody had ever heard of them in
There's
the
this
future.
whole thing
Whoever-
about apparently they were like dormant because of this and that, and it's stupid. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's I'd rather not get into that whole shitstorm.
Yeah.
Should have stopped after the first one.
Yeah, you just I mean I'll give you the
Or
second
if they were
one.
gonna keep going, like, do good with it. Don't just go stupid.
Yeah, if the main fault of the second one is they didn't have Kevin Bacon money.
Yeah.
So they got Fred Ward, and he's like, yeah, fuck it. They probably a large chunk of their budget probably went to him, and that was about it. So
Tremors 2 Aftershocks,
shit, she wasn't
Tremors
done.
3 Back to Perfection 2001, Tremors 4 The Legend Begins 2004, Tremors 5 Bloodlines 2015, Tremors A Cold Day in Hell 2018. That was recent. That was like 5 years ago. And Tremors Shrieker Island. That was 3 years ago, 2020.
Yeah, they just keep
Yeah.
going.
Ugh.
Yeah, it just keeps on going.
A new one will come out this year.
I didn't watch the
I actually think there is one in the works for this
Probably.
year.
Are you serious?
I think so.
A second television series a television series titled Tremors. The series aired from March through August 2003. A second television series was set to air in 2018 after a pilot had been shot, with Bacon reprising his role for the first time since the original film, but multiple networks, including Sci-Fi, passed on the series.
See, Kevin Bacon's one of them guys that's like, he says he doesn't like something, but then he sees like fan reaction to it. Then he's like, oh, maybe I do like it.
No, I thought the same thing, but I found out that that's not true.
He didn't like Tremors.
That's true.
But then he said he did.
That's not the reason.
What do you mean? What's not the reason?
I thought the reason was the same. Like, the reason was because he, was like, oh, now the fans like it, so yeah, I do like it. Sorry, I was just kidding or whatever. No. He didn't like it even when the fans liked it. So he was totally against it or whatever. But the real reason was because when he made this movie, it happened at a time in his life where, one, he thought that it was going to be a career killer. And he was only doing it because they were having a baby and he needed the money and blah, blah, blah. But he thought it was going to be a career killer. He was at a really bad time in his life mentally. Like, he was in a really low place, blah, blah, blah. So for the longest time, the movie just reminded him of a bad time in his life. So, like, when you hear a song on the radio that reminds you of, like, a really bad time and you're like, yeah, I can't listen to this right now. You know what I mean?
I don't have a song like that.
Well, I'm
I
just
have a
saying,
song
like,
that makes me really sad.
certain things like that, like, something that reminds you of a time when something was really bad. And as time went on, he's like, I really loved making that movie. It's the best time I've ever had making a movie. It was the funnest time I've ever had making a movie. And as time went on and he, was able to kind of heal, then he was like, oh, no, that I really do love that movie. And, as time went on, he realized that's like his favorite movie.
Kevin Bacon, I don't care how bad it was. You should have still loved making this movie.
No, he did love making it. It was a really bad time in his life.
Well,
So I get it. After I found that out, read that, it makes sense in the trivia.
right.
But, like, I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, what an
And
asshole.
we'll get into more of that stuff here at the
Yeah.
end. Let's go around and see if anybody would recommend. Eric?
Oh yeah, I definitely watch again and recommend the first one at least the first one. The other one's not so much.
All right, Karen.
I've seen it a million times. I'll recommend it to anybody. I'll watch it a million more times. I fucking love this movie.
Madison?
Yeah. Yeah, to both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would totally recommend this movie, and I would watch it again. And like Karen, I've seen it a fucking million times. I've seen the second one a million times.
I think I grew up watching this movie, like, literally sitting. I can
Mhm.
literally remember sitting in front of those big box TVs that were on
Yeah.
the floor,
Mhm.
watching this movie.
Same here.
Sitting on the floor.
Normal
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, with the
Yep.
dial,
Same
turning
here.
the volume up. Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
watching this movie
Change
a
the
lot.
channels, too.
Mm-hmm.
I watched
Loved
this movie a
this
lot.
movie.
It would be on TV. I'd watch it. If somebody had it, I'd watch. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
just one of those movies, man.
We're at that VHS right quick and in a hurry.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
one of the movies though that you don't hear about it as much as you used
And
to.
you should though. Like,
Yeah,
people
you
should
really
be showing this
should.
to their kids. Like,
Mhm.
it's just a good time.
It is. It's like it's a monster movie, but I wouldn't even call it a horror movie.
It's really not.
There
It's
there
not-
are horror aspects.
there's
of
horror
it.
elements. I
Yeah,
guess
there's
a
parts
couple
of
of
it
jump
that,
scares. I guess maybe.
well, and there's parts of it that are legit terrifying if you think about it.
right?
But
Yeah.
Well, like
but
the
taking
music
dude's
and
hat off his
everything-
face when that was kind of.
I would say the car.
the car. Yeah.
the car
is pretty-
getting buried
yeah.
with her in it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's
or the part where
terrifying.
the shop owner gets it.
See, I don't
Yeah.
get.
That's that
Yeah,
one's
that's
pretty bad.
That's
yeah.
pretty bad.
I don't get her thought process. Her door was still above ground. I would have jumped out. The ground went into the.
I think
see
she
the
was
ground
in
going
shock.
inside the car.
Oh, I know. I'm
Fuck
just
out.
saying that that whole scene is just terrifying anyway. But I'm just saying that like there are horror aspects to it, and there are things that like as an adult, if I think about it, if I really think about it, or if you're watching it. But as a kid, I didn't think about those things. It was just a fun movie with these big worms, and people are like when he the end when he runs up and the worm goes over the edge and all that. That's fun. That's great.
Yeah, well, it's not only that, but like the music and everything in this movie makes it
Yes.
very lighthearted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like there's not a lot of gore. Like the
Mm-mm.
only gory thing are whenever the monsters bite it.
Yeah.
And they don't even have traditional red blood. They're like orange.
It's orange.
It's
Yeah.
orange goo.
They
Yeah,
literally
it's like an
literally
orange
look
goo.
like pumpkins.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like a exploded pumpkin.
Yes.
That's what it
yes.
reminds me of. Like that part where they blow the one up and like parts go everywhere all over the rocks and shit. It reminds me of somebody just throwing pumpkin
Yes.
guts at them.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
that's what it looks
I think
like.
I even wrote
Can you
that down.
imagine
Like,
somebody
why
just
is
like
the
in
blood
background?
orange? Yeah, it's just a fun time,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why it's not talked about more.
I don't either. Anyway, we're gonna get into
All that.
all the heavy spoilers. We're gonna read off. This is not a very long plot here. It's actually a very basic plot. It's only like a page and a half, so compared to our 6 pages we usually have to read. But we're gonna get into heavy spoilers and everything like that. So if you haven't seen Tremors, which it'd be weird if you didn't. Even kids at my daughter's age have seen this movie.
You know people besides me who've seen this movie.
Mikey just told me last night he's seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd never seen
He
this
said his
movie
dad made him
before.
watch it. Good on him.
Mhm.
I made him watch this, but not. What was the other one?
I don't know. Anyway,
We'll learn them.
yeah. Heavy
Get learned.
spoilers. We're gonna get into this, and we're gonna talk about the whole movie at length. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's only an hour and
39 minutes.
like an hour
And then
40 or
come
something.
back.
It's not a super long movie. It's actually, I love short movies like this that are just fun to get into and watch for a minute.
Get to the point, make it fun.
Yep.
You know.
No,
Get
not a
done.
lot of filler or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Anyway, here we go. Valentine McKee and Earl Bassett are handymen working in Perfection, Nevada, an isolated settlement in the high desert east of the Sierra Nevada mountains. They eventually get tired of their jobs and leave for Bixby, the nearest town. As they leave, they discover the dead body of Edgar Deems, a fellow resident, perched atop an electrical tower, still grasping the tower's cross beams and his rifle. Jim Wallace, the town's doctor, determines that Edgar died of dehydration. For some reason, he was Shut up. He was apparently too tired to climb down.
See, that's another terrifying part for me as an adult. Like when he says he dies of dehydration.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm thinking like what they said. Why didn't he just come down and get a drink? Like what is what's so terrifying?
What had him
that
up there so terrified?
Yeah, like
for 3 days?
Why wouldn't you just come down?
Mm-hmm.
What had you up there that long?
And let's face it, if he drank as much as they said he did, it didn't take him 3 days to dehydrate.
Sure, no. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like what kept you up there?
Right.
You know?
I agree. Later on, an unseen creature kills Shepherd Fred and his flock of sheep. Val and Earl discover his severed head and believe that a serial killer is on the loose. 2 construction workers ignore Val and Earl's warning and are killed by the same creature when they drill the ground with a jackhammer, causing a rock slide. Val and Earl try to find help after warning the residents, but find the phone lines are dead and that the rock slide has blocked the only road out of town. Out of sight, a snake-like creature wraps itself around their truck's rear axle. It is torn apart when Val stomps on the accelerator and drives away, and is discovered when they return to town. So I don't know, that fucking snake thing. I don't know about you. I don't think I'd be like.
No, everybody like putting it on their neck.
Reba McEntire
and,
got like right up on that bitch. Like, you don't know. It could be like a worm, dude. Worms still lie.
Well, and they kept talking about the smell.
Yeah.
If something stinks that bad, I'm not getting my face right up in it.
Right.
Like, and I don't know about you guys, but every time they talk about the smell, I'm like, what does it smell like? Everybody, like, does it smell like dirt and
I like to think it smells like shit.
Well, yeah, like, but it has
like
to be. It has to have like a dirt smell too. You know what I mean?
Whenever people like in movies, whenever they describe something smelling bad, unless it's like not a skunk. If it's like a skunk smell, like okay, but like if they say, oh, it smells terrible, I always think of like bad sewage.
Well, and I wonder.
I always imagine like a decaying animal.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if it's because like you look at their skin and their skin looks, more like our skin, not scaly, not So like, do they sweat? Does it, you know what I mean? Like, is it like perspiration? Is like BO and dirt and, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they don't look scaly. They don't look,
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder what they do smell like.
I know. I thought way too much about it. It was because they kept bringing it up. So every time they bring it up, I'm like,
you're like, what?
So what does it smell like?
Yeah. What does it smell like? All right. Val and Earl borrow horses and ride to Bixby for help. They come upon Wallace and his wife's buried station wagon near their trailer, but the couple is missing, having been killed the previous night. As they press on, an enormous burrowing worm-like monster suddenly erupts out of the ground, revealing the snake-like creature to be one of the worm's many tentacled tongues. When their horses abandon them through the wait, hold on.
They killed that horse in cold blood.
Yeah. When their horses abandon them and flee, actually that's not true, one of them died. The men run off with the monster in pursuit. The chase ends when the creature crashes through the concrete wall and of an aqueduct. Sorry. I don't know why I couldn't pronounce that word. Of an aqueduct.
Take it slow.
Dying from the impact. Rhonda Lebec, a graduate student conducting seismology tests in the area, stumbles onto the scene. She deduces from previous readings that there are 3 other worms in the area. Rhonda, Val, and Earl become trapped overnight atop a cluster of boulders near one of the worms, and surmise that the creatures hunt their prey by detecting seismic vibration The trio then finds some discarded poles and use them to pole vault across some nearby boulders to reach Rhonda's truck, narrowly escaping the creature. Okay, so I had a question.
How is she steering so low, so
No,
wonderfully
not
without
that.
being able to
That
see?
is that is a good question,
It
but
looked like she was about to.
no,
run
my
into a
question
rock.
is: so why can they hide on rocks? They can't hide in anything else. They like dig out from underneath, like creating them things to sink in. Why can't they just do the same to rocks? They can go under the rocks. They can burrow under the rocks. Why can't they just like make the rocks sink too and get them that
Because
way?
they're residual boulders.
What does that mean? Eric, do you know what that means?
I would. This is how this is how I understand it, and maybe I'm wrong.
I was just going by what they said on.
Maybe I'm wrong, but okay, this is the best way I can think to explain it. So just bear with me. So a house has a foundation, right?
Yeah.
But even the foundation has open air, right? So
Right.
like here's your foundation here in the basement. But like if they tried hard enough, they could get through the center of it because the center of it is air. Right? Eventually they could crack through this and get up,
Right.
right?
It's
But a
cement.
boulder, right? There's nothing. There's no air. It's just a boulder.
Right.
There's nowhere for them to crack through.
Well, I
No,
know they're
they-
not cracking through,
But they're digging around.
but they're
it
digging
to
around and
sink
under to
things.
sink it.
I mean, I guess they could sink it eventually.
That's what they were doing every time they tried to stop in the dozer.
But boulders are a lot like glaciers, especially what do you call them? What'd she call them? Residual boulders. They're a lot like glaciers. They go down into the dirt like so far, and some of them go down really far. Some of them don't go down as far, but they're like glaciers. You don't know how far down into the dirt they are.
I guess she did say that they needed to be able to dig through softer soil.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why they were headed for the mountains. So I
Right.
guess that does explain it a little bit.
Yeah, they're like glaciers. They're down in there so far they can't.
I guess so. All
Yeah.
right. All right. I don't know. I thought I'd bring it up.
I couldn't remember what the name was, even after you just said it. But
Residual boulders.
residual. They're
Residual.
residual.
Why did it eat the generator whenever it
Because
killed
it was
that couple?
making vibrations and
They thought it
noises.
was something they could eat because it was making noise, and
That's why they
vibrating.
Yeah.
spat it back out.
they realized they couldn't eat it.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't organic.
See, that makes sense now.
After the trio return to town, all three remaining worms attack the settlement. Val saves Mindy, who is unaware of the creature's presence in the town. After the sound of her pogo stick lures one of them to her. Meanwhile, Rhonda gets tangled in barbed wire from a broken fence, and another one of the creatures moves to kill her. Val manages to stun the creature with a pickaxe and helps Rhonda to escape. Inside the general store, the worms attack again and kill owner Walter Chang, which I loved. I love that dude.
The only thing about that I didn't get those. Like he had a bloody nose before
I
the
know.
thing
I
pulls
saw
him down.
that.
I was like, and I've noticed that several times,
Yeah.
but like, I was really paying attention this time because I was like, maybe I've missed something before.
See, the thing about a bloody nose is you don't get a bloody nose unless you have, for one, like trauma to the head, and the only way you'd be coughing up blood, because he also had blood in his mouth. The only way you'd be coughing up blood is if you had blood in your lungs.
Yeah, and the only thing
I didn't
is like
understand
it
that.
hadn't grabbed him yet. He was just there, like
I
They're like,
helping them
oh,
with
and then,
the-
I
and then he was
think-
like, he already had a bloody nose, and they were like,
yeah.
I thought that whenever the thing came up through the ground, that he like went through or forward and bounced his head off the weird cooler thingy.
I didn't
see that, but
but it's possible.
But if
I
you want to
guess,
give
but
that explanation, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Forcing. Okay, so the worm attacks again and kill Walter Chang, forcing everyone to hide on the town's various rooftops. Meanwhile, survivalist couple Bert and Heather Gummer managed to kill one of the creatures after unwittingly luring it to their basement armory in town. The two remaining worms start attacking the building's foundations. They knock over a trailer Nestor is standing on, allowing them to drag him under and devour him. Realizing they must leave town, Earl, Rhonda, and Miguel distract the monsters while Val commandeers a track loader and chains a semi-trailer to the rear. The survivors use it to try and escape to a nearby mountain range. En route, both worms create a sinkhole trap that disables the track loader, and the survivors flee to some nearby boulders for safety.
Is that heater on?
Is it?
Sounds like it.
Turn it
but
off.
I don't see.
It is on.
Why? I think you got ghosts. Your TV was on. Your heater's turning on.
We're just turn it off. Turn it off and get back up here. Stop playing with it.
it's not making any heat. It's just there.
Oh my god, she squeaked.
I thought she got shocked. I was like, fuck.
Come on, get up here. Let's go.
No, it's still on.
Who cares? We'll worry about it later.
Feels like I had to touch it again.
All right.
You sure it's on there now?
The group begins
turned
to
it on.
the group begins to lose hope of escape until Earl gets an idea to trick the worms into swallowing Bert's homemade pipe bombs. The strategy kills one worm, but the last one spits the bomb back toward the survivors, forcing them to disappear as the explosion sets off and destroys all but one of the remaining bombs. Val lures the final worm into chasing him to the edge of a cliff and then explodes the remaining bomb behind it. The resulting explosion causes the worm to accelerate so fast that it charges through the cliff face, where it plummets to its death onto the rocks below. The group returns to town and call in the authorities to begin an investigation, while Earl encourages Val to pursue a romantic relationship with Rhonda. Okay, so he didn't, I guess, but okay, so I didn't realize that he threw the bomb behind him to get him to go faster towards the cliff, because that is not what it seemed like. It seemed like he just missed.
Oh no, I totally got that he was trying to get it.
To launch faster, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay.
heater sounds like it's giving
Just
its
to
all, but it's so quiet.
Push him that way faster.
Right. I guess so. I guess it does make sense. I never thought about it that way. I didn't really realize that's what his plan was.
I didn't notice it much when I was a kid. I did think he missed when I was a kid, but
Right.
as I got older, I understood.
I guess that
that's
does
what he
make
was
sense,
doing.
though. Yeah, because they steer clear of that sound. So yeah.
And I guess even when I was a kid, I didn't even realize that he grabbed a pipe bomb a few. Like when I was a kid, I
Right.
didn't really even notice it. But yeah, that's what it was for.
You guys want to go over some notes here?
Yeah,
I got one note. That's it.
So
got
did I.
one.
That's
One
all.
note.
dude, I got
one-
so much.
I have one
I
note.
wonder if it's the same note.
It's-
But mine's at the very.
Well, since you guys are lame and only
very
have one,
beginning
go
of the
nuts.
Mine is two.
Mine was just about the generator.
How many times did Val have to miss that fucking?
That's
nail?
my very first note.
Okay, no, I didn't say that, but I did notice that. He's
He's like,
kept hitting, and I was like, he totally.
I have the answer in trivia.
And then even Earl looked at it
he's
like,
like, come on, man, hit the fucking nail.
I that was my very first note, and then I was doing trivia as we were watching it. Like when he would pause the movie, like when he had to go to the bathroom or whatever, I'd be doing trivia because I've
Does he
seen the
have to
movie
pee
already.
a lot?
And it was like the very first piece of trivia I found, and I was like, oh, found it. So yeah, I've
All
got
right,
the
let's
answer
look at
for you.
That's the only note I took.
I didn't take that note, but I did notice that. I'm like, how many times does he have to hammer
I actually
that?
put him in. How many times did Kevin Bacon hammer that signpost before he finally hit the fucking staple?
No, the only one I had is we plan ahead. That way we don't do anything right
Dude,
now.
I put that down
Earl
too.
explains it to
Earl explained
Earl
it to
explained
me.
it to me.
I also put down the my other favorite line was, "Oh sure, Earl, everyone knows about them. We just didn't tell you."
I will say though, at the beginning of the movie, they very much, you can tell right off the bat that they have a dependency on each other.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Like
yeah.
lighting the cigarette, one had the cigarettes and the other one had the lighter. Like, okay,
They did a very
So,
good job
who's making breakfast?
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't have to even say things sometimes. You just knew how close they were
yeah.
without having, to have to really establish
How did they
that.
Yeah.
meet?
You don't really have to even know that.
No.
Like, they just do a really good job of it.
They're just
showing
best
how
friends. It's
good
kind of like
friends they
watching
are.
Dumb and Dumber. It doesn't matter how Harry met Lloyd.
Yeah.
You just know that they're friends, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I do want to know Chang's backstory though. Like, how'd that dude end up there?
Yeah, how did you end up all the way there? Yeah.
Like, I want to know his. I want to see his backstory. I want to know how that guy ended up there.
I wonder if there was a casting call for a little Asian dude for this role.
Actually,
like,
it was supposed to be a Japanese guy, and
Oh.
they actually had a Japanese name for the store or whatever. And
for a little store in the middle of fucking nowhere. Nevada.
yeah, I don't know why. But then what's his face showed up and got the part, and he's like, "Can we change the name of the store because I'm Chinese?"
Mhm.
And they were like, "Yeah." So they did.
His adventures stopped with his grandsons. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's the grandpa from fucking
Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas.
I keep every time I see him, I see Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what
I always think of Three Ninjas.
Yeah,
I always think
that's
of Big
same
Trouble in
here.
Little China because I would not. I mean, Three Ninjas was his thing.
Grandpa.
There are not enough showers in the world to clean off somebody else's shit.
No, fuck no.
No.
dude.
There is not.
No.
Not even like there's.
Don't
just
you
not.
know? Whenever it shows the next scene of Kevin Bacon coming out, that's
he's
actually the
wet?
next day. He
Oh,
was
is it?
showering that whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that
like
makes
I don't
sense.
know, but
Wait, what am I? I'm missing something. What happened?
When they were
Whenever-
doing the septic thing.
where they're doing the second thing and they got sprayed down by shit.
Yeah,
That's what that was.
Yeah, what do you think it
Yeah.
was?
I thought
they're emptying
I
out
thought
the
it was-
septic tank.
thought it was just gross
No.
water.
No.
Yeah, it's gross water.
that-
on
Yeah,
it.
it's gross water.
That was black water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um.
I wasn't sure what it was. I was just kind of going with it.
It's shit that's been sitting in tank for over
Who
a very
knows?
long time.
Yeah.
Months,
Yeah, we could say that.
years.
Madison, unplug that.
I don't
It's
want to
driving me
touch
nuts.
it.
Just unplug it.
I don't know where to plug
It's right there, plugged into that
Oh, okay.
or something. It's plugged in over there somewhere. Unplug that shit. It's
Well,
getting on my
plug it
nerves.
in.
Oh, there's.
Spider went on it. Plug all the way in back there.
Don't touch.
She's
the
having a
camera.
rough day.
God forbid.
Watch there be a spider on that plug.
Watch what you're unplugging back
I was gonna
there.
say, is that such a good idea?
Yeah.
It's like a Bob's
All of it
Burger
goes
thing.
shuts off.
Yeah, you sound like a Bob's Burger. It's like, Tina, Who's Tina.
Yeah, you got it.
Maybe, you know, what make me laugh the most if it starts doing it.
Yeah. Huh?
If it still does it. It wasn't the heater.
No. Something else is
Outside.
buzzing. Oh, it's outside. I think.
Is it outside?
I think that's a weed whacker.
Oh, maybe it is. It's driving me nuts. I'm like, what is that fucking noise?
Well, I
I
thought it was the heater too,
I
and I was
thought-
like,
no.
wait, it might be something outside, and I was like,
I had a
no, that's
feeling-
the heater giving its all.
I had a feeling it was a weed eater or something.
It was driving me nuts. I know you can't hear it on the thing, but it was
I
driving
can
me
hear it.
insane. All right. Anyway, any more notes? You want me to, what
I
notes
told you
you
I
got?
had.
What do you
I
got?
had
I want to hear
notes.
them.
I'm waiting till you guys fucking
What?
quit
Go ahead.
worrying about a
Hey.
damn weed whacker.
We were worried about the heater, not the weed whacker.
I want some Swiss cheese and bullets.
Swiss cheese and bullets. I didn't even understand that reference. It was like Swiss cheese and bullets.
There was no reference. She just said, "I got you some Swiss cheese and bullets."
Did she actually have Swiss cheese?
Yeah,
All right.
I want that. Why doesn't anybody ever bring me?
Reba's
Swiss
gonna
cheese
make
and
a good
bullets?
mommy.
Oh shit, she's a good wifey.
Swiss cheese and bullets.
And every time I watch a movie that's in a desert climate, I wonder this: why are they always wearing like long
sleeves
jackets?
and jeans. Yeah.
I get the jeans because like snakes and shit, but like why you gotta wear layers?
You get
Yeah.
used to a climate that you've been in your whole life.
I've also been told that like those desert areas, like they don't really get that hot. Like yeah, they're hot, but it's like a dry heat,
Yeah, it's
so
not-
they don't get overwhelmingly
But why
hot.
layer it?
humidity. Of these,
I mean, like I why layer it up? I guess
I don't know.
I don't get it.
it's not the heat that'll kill you; it's the humidity.
Yeah, I know. I live in that place.
In that place.
Yeah,
We
and
live in humidity.
that fucking Melvin kid. He's probably like the most annoying kid in a movie ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fucking, I would have punched that kid in the face. He's
I'd
very
have let him die.
He got throat punched first time he
Oh,
acted
yeah.
like he got killed or something.
his stupid
I'd let him
90s
die.
sweatshirt.
First time
He's
them-
wearing a fucking sweatshirt in
First
the
time,
desert.
first time those worms showed up, like, no, you're fine on the ground. You're fine right where you
Stay
are.
right
Just-
there,
They
man.
attack from the air.
Yeah, right where you are. Just stay where you are.
As close to the ground as possible is the best bet. Why are you up there? Because we're sacrificing ourselves for you.
Yes, we want you to be safe. And I don't know why
Just
they
give
were
him
so
some moon
worried
shoes.
about Bert and his wife. Remember when they were up there like attacking Bert and his wife or whatever, and they were all like, "Oh God," and then they didn't hear anything or whatever, like, "Oh, they're dead." The only people that would survive, literally, would
They have
be Bert
every
and his
gun
wife.
known to man, apparently.
I mean, seriously, no, they're gonna be. Just
It was great
fine.
whenever like that thing busted the wall, and then it just pans over to them,
Yeah, and they're
and
just
then a
like,
whole wall of guns.
Oh fuck yeah!
Like it's
That's
like,
my
oh, they're gonna be
dream.
fine.
Yeah, they'll
They're
be
gonna be
just fine. He
fine.
pulls out that
You
elephant
done
gun, and you're
fucked
like, he shows the bullets.
Yeah, the bullets are like the size of my wrist. Like, they're fucking
I'm
ridiculous.
thinking like if I tried to shoot that, it would throw.
Well, then
me
it's so
3
funny because the
feet
way
backwards.
the way he holds it isn't even the proper way. He didn't even have it under his like. You want it firmly against your shoulder. He
Yeah.
didn't. He had it under his shoulder. Like, dude, that thing is gonna fly out of your hand. There's no.
Well, the one thing I tell you that did kind of impress me though,
Adrenaline
it-
can make you do anything.
I don't know, it did impress me because this is like 101 when it comes to gun safety, but like he gave Melvin that unloaded gun, right? Which was hilarious.
That's
He
moving, isn't it?
gave him that unloaded gun, he shoots it, and like nothing happens, and he's like, "You gave me an unloaded gun, you dick!" And he's like, "You think I'd give you a loaded gun?" As they're running for the boulder, but he hands it back to him, and he checks it, even though he knew it was unloaded, like reflex. So that's pretty.
That's pretty smart. Yeah.
That's a good. Well, that's a good character.
yeah.
Like just without
Thinking.
A little
thinking,
character
like
hint.
he just did that. Like
I also liked. So Bert is obviously there's a reason why Bert is the mainstay of the entire series. He's like the most fun character in the entire series.
he's so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
He's the rainbow of the movie.
Yeah, he's definitely the most fun. Like in the second one, he really gets to shine.
And he
Yeah.
really doesn't have like any fear to speak of. You know what I
No.
mean, like he.
No, he has fun with this shit.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Like
Like in the second one, he says, "I am completely out of ammunition." And then he looks and he's like, "That's never happened to me before." You know what I mean? Like it's fucking like this is why he's the best character
well,
in
and
the
like
series.
when he said if it comes to starvation, I'm gonna walk out there with one of these and make as much noise as possible,
Yeah.
light the thing, and that's it.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, yeah, that's how I'd go. I'm gonna take one with me.
See, the thing I think I hated about the second movie is the second one shows how their lives didn't get any better. Like Earl's life didn't get any better. Like him and Kevin Bacon's character Val like don't even see each other anymore because Val went off and married the girl, and then they go to Bert and Bert's like divorced and everything else. It's like he's like, yeah, she left me and blah blah blah. I'm like, why do they have to bring back these characters on a sad note? Like
Yeah.
that
Right.
sucks. You know what I mean? That's no fun. I don't want that.
It would have been cooler if like they did have, if they were gonna make it right and have Val and everybody back, like have them in like some big city, and then like somebody's like, hey, we need you back in perfection because they're back, and like you guys know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like having to like bring them back.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a much better sequel.
Or even like or even just like
Well, like
Like
them
in-
living the high life is what I'm saying.
yeah,
like
like
they're back in the
even
city
like
or
Bert
something.
was like even if Bert was like not divorced, like oh she's in Italy right now with some friends or whatever. You know what I mean? Who
Or
cares?
she does traveling now, and she teaches how to
Gun safety or
how to
something.
shoot
I don't know.
elephant
Yeah.
guns or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Or maybe she's on like I don't know. She does a tour thing where about how she faced off against the worms or whatever.
Or she teaches about them.
Or
now,
just
Yeah.
going
because
on a
they-
safari with,
Same as
to
like
go
Kevin
hunt
Bacon's
animals or
character. Like,
something.
why did it have to be such a downer? Like, well, I
Yeah.
guess for him it wasn't really a downer. He went off and got married, but it just sucks that
He's the only one that got out of perfection.
yeah.
Yeah. And then this was just something I wanted to bring up because I didn't put it in the trivia because it was kind of really technical and long-winded. But one of the coolest things in the movie, those tentacle things, was actually only in there because of the budget. So originally, every time somebody dies, the worms are supposed to come completely out of the ground and eat somebody. Well, obviously, the budget didn't allow for that. So they had to come up with some other way for somebody to get, like,
Pulled
grabbed
in.
or pulled in, so they came up with this tentacle idea. And originally the special effects guys, if you guys remember, they did Starship Troopers. They really hated the idea. Well, one of the guys on the team came up with this tentacle idea. They hated the idea. But he came up and showed him how to do it with like with like wires and stuff, and
You hear it now, and you're like, God damn.
Oh
it."
no, I've been hearing it.
and they eventually grew to love it when he showed them how it would work.
Yeah.
And it actually turns out to be one of the coolest things.
I would say it's probably one of the like if it was just the worms without the tentacle things,
it would be kind of lame.
It would be
right?
kind of lame. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as much fun.
I think it adds something to it because if it was just a worm, just a regular worm, I don't think it would be as impressive.
Right. I agree.
And then the last thing that I had was pipe bombs for the road. That's my kind of travel.
Pipe bombs for the road.
Yeah. I don't know why they were giving him so much shit. I mean, I know sitting there was a bad idea, but like they're like, come on. It's like, yeah, but they're gonna save your ass with all that shit. So like, let them give you what you need.
Well, they were trying to say come on because they were like,
Oh, I get it, but like inch a little, but like let them keep loading because
you
you're
got a
gonna
pretty.
need it.
I guess they did have a really long trailer. Like,
yeah, they
they
were gonna
coulda-
need it.
Inched around that property
Yeah.
until they got.
Yeah, like inch a little. You can move, just don't move very fast.
Right.
I
wonder how long you think it took from them to get from the town out to Bert's house. Like, I bet it took a minute in that fucking thing.
45 minutes.
They're like, we're only going 9 miles. Like, yeah, it's gonna take all day to get there in that fucking thing.
yeah.
9 miles is a long way in a tractor.
And those things were so fucking smart. Like, how were they that fucking smart? Like, I don't know. I would just. And see, I don't think that, like, the sequels, they didn't do a very good job of, like, if you're going to go there, then go there. How are they so smart? How did they communicate?
That's what I never understood is like they're planning and making plans between each other. Like, I get it. They probably communicate in some way, but they never express how. Like maybe sonar or whatever, like underground
Vibration.
sonar
Well,
or
they don't.
vibrations.
That's my point. If they're going to go there, if they're going to, like, tell us how the cake is made, then tell us how the fucking cake is made.
Right.
How do they
don't
talk?
even know because it's a new discovery to them.
Well, she's saying in
No.
the sequels.
In the sequels.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
sequels,
no.
They don't explore
They just
any
go
of
into
that.
this life cycle that's completely stupid.
Oh, for sure.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
No. Maybe if anything, like don't do that instead of this life cycle. Maybe make them evolve slightly or something like that. Don't give us like these things that have legs and then shit that flies. Like that's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. This life cycle thing was stupid.
Yeah.
If you were gonna explore the graboids, then tell us how they were so smart. What like
I get
what?
them having like the second one didn't bother me as much because they're like, oh, they have legs, they're the babies, and then eventually they go underground. It's like that's okay.
Sure.
They're babies.
Okay, tadpoles and stuff like okay.
I get that. But like whenever you have fucking like shit that's flying around and they call them ass blasters or whatever the fuck they are, like that's retarded. Like, come on, man. Like, where did these things come from now? Like, that makes no sense
How
to
do you
me.
even get away from something like that?
You can't.
At some point in time, people just stopped caring and let them do whatever they wanted, I guess. But fans of the original, obviously, like I watched them, but I don't like them.
I've only seen the first two.
I watched all of them, and except for the most recent one because I don't think I can do it anymore.
Yeah.
I watched the most recent one and don't ever do it.
That's kind of like Leprechaun. Like, it got really bad.
Oh no, I've seen every single one of them.
Oh yeah.
See, now I haven't.
Leprechaun,
I've seen
like-
like Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun in the Hood, and Leprechaun in Space.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there's a Leprechaun in the Hood too.
I highly
Yeah.
recommend
Back
all
to
of
the
them.
Hood or
I
something.
own them if you
Yeah.
ever want to watch
Leprechaun
them.
of the Hood is
I do
actually
too,
okay.
actually.
I watched them all in a week in a weekend. No, 2 weekends.
I'll tell
We
you
watched
right
them
now,
over 2
Leprechaun
weekends.
movies.
It's a good time.
Yeah, they outdo Tremors. Hands
Yeah.
down.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
Because
they
they're-
do. Yeah.
They
The problem
outdo-
with Tremors
they
is it
outdo-
just gets stupid. And stupid in a bad way.
Yeah.
You know I'm a Jason fan. I love Jason movies, but Leprechaun outdoes Jason.
In Space?
Yeah,
I say Leprechaun in Space was pretty fucking great. Like it was
Yeah.
so cheesy.
yeah.
It was
It-
so
it
bad. It was
outdoes
good.
Jason.
Like one of those things. It was
She-
cheesy.
But that's the thing
She
is that
likes
they
Jason in
embrace it.
Space.
They
I do
embrace
too,
it.
though. I do too. I
That's
think
probably
it's-
the only one I like.
That movie gets a lot of hate, but dude, it is an entertaining ass
It
movie.
is. It's fucking entertaining. That is probably the only one that
It
I
is
like.
an entertaining fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I like that one.
A lot of people hate that movie. I'm like, why? It's great. Like
And-
they
and-
did
and
something
for
different
any
for
Jason
once.
fans out there, it's literally your only good one. So sorry.
But I'm also the guy that I like Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like it because it's not at the camp. It's on a boat. Granted, I know like he's only in
Which makes
Manhattan for
it
like
says Jason Takes Manhattan, and
But it's like,
99%
yeah,
of the movie's on a boat.
the most of the movie is on a boat, and then he's only in Manhattan for like 10 minutes of the movie.
You just cracked me up when you got into a boxing fight.
Yeah, that shit was great. And he knocks that dude's
I
head
will
off.
admit, it's probably the second most entertaining.
It is pretty entertaining.
He's walking down the street.
Then he
fucking
kicks that boombox. And then they turn like, "Hey, man!" And he like takes off his mask, like, "Oh shit!" Like,
Never mind.
yeah, like it's an entertaining movie, dude. Like the kills are better. Like he shoves that hot rock through that person's stomach. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
There's
still
some good
say
kills in there.
Jason
I-
X has
I
got
like
the
Jason's
best kill
kills.
I've ever seen in a movie.
is it the tree or no the frozen head?
frozen-
thing? Yeah,
I
Yeah.
love Jason's kills, man. They're so brutal.
yeah. I mean, he's not bad, but we're getting off subject.
Sorry. Anyway, no, Tremors just goes in a bad direction after the.
It does,
after the first,
and
and that's
It
the
gets
problem.
they get more progressively cheesy and more low budget, and you can see it.
And I think it's just you can tell that it's just like they don't like they don't care anymore or something. It's like this lack of
Creativity,
flair.
Yeah,
You know, they're like, whatever, just make money. You know.
yeah, exactly. They're just throwing. They're like, oh, we'll throw this small budget at it, and if we don't make anything, then oh well. But hopefully we do. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
one of those things.
Yeah.
So, because at least if we throw the small budget at it, we're not out much if
Right.
it fails. Like
Right.
but either way, it's a turnover.
There's no zeal for it at all.
Yeah.
But
because
like,
nobody's asking for these sequels. Nobody.
no, not those sequels. I
Not
wouldn't
anymore.
I wouldn't have minded as a good sequel,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Like,
and
give
the
us a
two-
sequel.
money
And
in
2 wasn't terrible. I'm not saying it was terrible. It's just not the sequel we wanted.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't the sequel we wanted, but it is not a terrible movie.
Mm-mm.
If you want a sequel to that movie, to the original Tremors, then go watch the sequel. It's not bad. It's just it's lacking. It's mostly it's just lacking Kevin Bacon and hell,
And that
even,
great chemistry that they had.
they
Those
had the
two-
chemistry
yeah.
between the two of them, and you don't have that in the second one because it's more of Earl and
The new guy.
Bert. It's Earl and Bert the whole time.
Well, and that kid. What was
and the
it?
kid, but
I
he's
don't
more
remember
he's in there to kind of replace the Kevin Bacon character.
Yeah, he's like the
and
yeah.
It wasn't working.
Yeah.
And it didn't work, but like the problem, but then you get into like the other sequels, they take Bert and everybody completely out of it, or not Bert, but Earl, and they just
Bert's
have
the only one that's in
Yeah.
all
Bert's
of
the
them.
only one that's in all of them, and then they bring in like Jamie Kennedy at some point.
Yeah, he turns out to be Bert's son.
Yeah, which is dumb. Anyway, is that all the notes? you
Yep.
guys
As
have?
I said,
said,
like,
I
my
had
last
one.
one was about the pipe bombs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna get into rating and reviewing this thing.
Let's review this bitch.
I didn't even think about what I wanted to rate it.
Well, you got time.
Quit viewing my profile.
Everybody think about what they want to do here. The fuck?
It says now I'm here.
So it says,
I'm literally on here.
It said view my profile now.
Can't be. I'm on a spreadsheet.
She's lying.
Someone hacked your account.
I'm on a spreadsheet.
Someone hacked your account.
Probably.
The fuck?
Mm.
There we go. All right. All right, Eric. Start with you. What do you think, man?
Oh, for Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
your
no,
review.
for your
oh,
review.
my review.
Oh, I thought we did Rotten Tomatoes first.
No, we always do that after our reviews.
We do?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Since
my
day
review,
one.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Main reason, I love the movie. It's just nostalgia for me for being young. I mean, when I was younger, we used to sit there and watch it. I like the like you guys said, I like the chemistry between Earl and Val. Bert, gotta love him. Love his character. I think overall, the score, the direction they went with in this movie, it was genuine. It was the first, movie of its type. So I went with an 8 out of 10 for mine.
8 out of 10. Karen, what do you got?
Okay, so one of my favorite things about this movie is that at the very beginning of the movie, they don't really show the monster until it is with the main characters, which I thought was really cool. You didn't see that a lot back then.
Yeah, I did like that.
You saw it grabbing people and killing people, but you didn't see it until Val and Earl saw it, and then you finally see it.
Which tells you that it's very much their movie.
Correct. I like that a lot. And then I also really like, I've said this several times on this show, but I don't like when you give a lot of backstory about something. I like when there's some mystery to it. I don't want to know how the cake's made a lot of times. And I love that in this movie they don't say shit about where it came from. The only thing that you hear is, like, oh, I wonder, like, where these are, where they came from. But that's it. Like they just wonder about it, And the most you ever hear is like that one scene, where it's like, oh, has anybody ever heard of these? And he's like, yeah, Earl, everybody's heard of them. We just didn't tell you, I mean, and they just play it off. Like nobody actually really tries to answer it. They just, the only thing you get is, well, don't you know you're a scientist, I like that. And, the westerny music, that kind of goes into these big band sounding stuff, when bad things are happening or, kind of gets a little creepy sounding. I loved the whole aesthetic of the westerny or the desert backdrop that goes with this movie. The characters, the way they all work together, the chemistry between the two main characters was really well done. And then the way the other characters, how they all worked around them. And one of my favorite scenes, how they did it, and it's so easy how they did it, but when they're running from the tremor and the boards are coming up behind them when they're running to the store. I do like that. Yeah. And all they're doing is they're just, dragging a board underneath, and it's just popping those boards up behind them. Those little things that, they're easy to do, but it has such an effect. And I really miss that in movies, so like when I see them in these movies, I really just love it so much. So for me, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna say an 8.5. And really my only knock for it is just that, it's not perfect. It's not a great movie. It's just a fun movie. And I really like it.
Yeah. Madison.
Wow, you guys are really good at explaining stuff.
Chang's death is
you've seen a few movies.
Yeah, Chang's death is a bad one.
I've seen a few movies, but I haven't seen a few movies like you guys have seen a few movies. You guys have seen a few movies. I've only seen a few movies.
Thousands of movies.
Thousands
of
movies.
Saying
we're old.
No, I'm saying you guys watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we love entertainment.
Yeah.
Got to keep the mind fresh.
We're cultured.
I did like this movie. Like, not like a lot, but like the normal amount of a lot. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm off to a great start. And we're plummeting. Okay.
You know what that sounds like? A jet ski in the distance.
Sounds like somebody's vibrator. Crystal, what are you doing up there?
Hey, Brad's up there too.
Wait,
chill out.
okay.
Anyways, it's a good
Joseph
movie.
running
I
up the
did like the
steps.
bond between the two. It was like a friendship that you always want, but you never get. You know?
Right, yeah.
Well, for me, anyways. You and Dan, are you and Dan like that?
No, I think that's more me and Cody.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely more me and Cody. Like, we know everything about each other, and I mean, we grew up together for 37 years.
Me and April are a lot like that.
You're
me
right.
me and Cody, my sister, we know everything about each other. So it's just, we have that same relationship where, like, where we can almost finish each other's sentences half the time because we're always just thinking the same fucking thing. Because we grew up the same. We lived a lot of the same traumatic bullshit. So that's me and Cody right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Me and Ada are like that too.
Exactly. So I don't view Val and Earl as friends so much as brothers. Like, they are friends, obviously. They're not brothers. But I view them as, that's what they consider each other, as brothers. So.
Yeah. And it's cool. Usually I don't like desert movies because they're really boring, but I did like this one.
Do you like any movies?
I do.
Okay.
Just
every movie is like,
I don't like this movie.
I don't like this kind of movie.
this kind of movie. I don't like this kind of movie.
Usually I don't like this kind of movie.
Batman.
But every week it's, I don't like this kind of movie.
I did like this one.
But I did like this one.
I just don't like movies.
Apparently.
until I watch them and I'm like, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Maybe you don't like the movies or maybe you do like the movies you don't, or the ones that you don't think you like. but you just in your mind you tell yourself you don't like him because of some reason or another. Like I don't like Batman that much either, but the Batman movie is fucking amazing. So
It's just super long.
it is long, but it's
See,
still a
that's
great
my
fucking
problem.
movie.
I like shows because I can stop after 40 minutes and come back to them whenever I feel like it. I can't do that with movies.
But I don't understand that mentality because you probably watch 3 hours worth in a day.
I do.
Right.
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And also, like, if you think like people binge watch TV shows all the time, what's wrong with a 3-hour movie? You know?
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't understand that
Maybe
mentality.
it's
But,
because
like-
shows go
But
into
I think
deeper
you just have a
depth and
hateful
everything.
mentality because you haven't grown into your own. You're like you're still figuring it out. But that's like me sitting back and saying I don't like clowns, but I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I don't like clowns, but I did like that haunted mansion with all the clowns in it. The second time, not the first time. The first time I was scared.
Anyway, let's continue here.
Yeah, so
So I give it a 7.5 because I did really like it. That's all.
There's a lot of nostalgia here, but watching it this time, it wasn't as fun as it used to be whenever I was a kid. So that's one problem I have with it. Like it used to be a fucking blast whenever I was a kid, but now I'm watching. I'm like, this movie's not as great as I remember it being. But like you said, I love the upbeat horror aspect of it. I love the desert backdrop. That shit's fun because you don't see a lot of movies in the desert really like that anymore. Almost like actors are like, I'm not filming in the desert. There's sand out there. I might get it in my vagina. Fucking pussies. Anyway, but yeah, I loved.
or if you do that, they're overly orange for some reason.
Right.
They
Yeah.
always do that overly orange tone.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because people think sand is orange.
It's, I don't know. But I love Ben. Fucking Ben Affleck. Why is this?
You were just talking about Batman. He was,
Affleck.
you know,
Affleck.
Affleck.
So I love I love Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward in this. They're awesome. I'm not a huge Reba McEntire fan, but like I do love her in this movie because this is the only thing that I really credit her for because I don't like country music or anything like that. And I never really cared about her until this movie. And I was like, oh, Reba's a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
She's good at acting, in my opinion.
yeah, she had her show and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it was just one of those things where I was like, I don't care about Reba. And then she was
Hey,
like,
she was the race car driver in Little
Little
Rascals.
she was
too.
in the Little Rascals.
So-
You are right. She was in Little Rascals.
You watch your tone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing her in that though. But the only reason why I like seeing her in that is
She
because
pulls
she was
that
in
helmet
Tremors.
off, and they're like,
Yeah.
"She's a girl."
She's a girl. And then I loved like Bert in this. He was awesome. I loved everybody. I pretty much loved the whole cast, even the annoying kid.
How they all
He
work
gave
together.
something to it, you know.
Yeah.
Something
Um,
annoying.
Yeah, and the
Well,
girl
everybody hated him, so they all had something
Gave
in
you
common.
somebody
You
that
know,
wanted
like-
to
and the little girl was actually in the Jurassic Park movie.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot all
So-
about her. Yeah,
She was in Jurassic Park, so
Ariana Richards.
yeah. She's pretty nowadays. Like
She
she's
really
still a pretty
is.
girl.
She's very pretty.
She's like probably 40 or something.
Well, shit, she was our age, so she's
Yeah.
already, you know, I mean, she.
It's not weird that I say she's pretty because she's older than me.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I think that this movie for me, it lands in some ways and fails in others. The sequels definitely ding it for me because fuck them sequels. I think for me, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 7. I was gonna go lower, but it is nostalgic and I might be a little too harsh on it. But I think we're too easy on all these
I don't
fucking
think
movies
that
to
you
review.
can really ding it for the
sequels.
sequels.
I sure the fuck can.
Can't.
don't
Yes,
think
I
you
can because I've seen one of the sequels and I know about the rest. And they make the first one.
But the
sounds
people that made the
stupid.
first one had nothing to
I don't
do
care.
with them.
They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have gave like these.
Tell us
fucking-
what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Did you be able to ding a movie for the?
No, you shouldn't be allowed to,
The
but
other-
I am. Okay.
That would be like dinging the Batman movie for other Batman movies.
No,
True.
that's not even the truth. Same
Yeah, it
thing.
is.
No, it is actually.
You guys shut
she's
the
very
fuck up.
true.
This is my review. I'll give it a 7.
You
No,
give it
you
a
can
7
give it a 7.
then.
You just can't use the sequels as a reason.
I sure can.
no,
No,
you
you
can't.
can't.
I just did.
And just did.
You're
I
terrible
mean,
at this.
dad.
7.75 for the
this.
aggregate.
All right. Let's get into our Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, man.
65 for critics.
82.
Oh, critics.
82.
58.
65.
Eric's gonna take this 88%.
What?
For the critics?
Yeah.
What?
And
I would have
affectionate,
never seen that coming.
fresh.
and affectionate throwback to 1950s creature features. Tremors
I
reinvigorates
forgot about
its genre tropes with a finely balanced combination of horror and humor. All right, audience.
85.
75.
For the first one, I'm going 85.
80.
Madison can take this is 75%
Oh,
on the nose.
damn.
Yeah.
You cheating?
She's
She's
seen the
cheating.
I
reflection.
can't. I mean, I can, but I didn't
Aha!
see it.
Aha!
I didn't see it.
You should
I
not have
swear to
admitted
God.
it.
Oh, she
I
just
was
admitted
making
it.
an air
I don't
play.
even
She
know how
admitted
I
it.
can't even see it from right here, so I don't know how she
She
would see
admitted
it.
it. We caught it.
I can see his screen,
For
but I swear to God, I
shame.
wasn't looking.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys a few bad reviews, and then we're gonna move forward.
I seen it.
You guys need to switch seats with me. I can't sit here. I'm not trustworthy, apparently.
Me sitting over there's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Teenager,
him
isn't
sitting
it?
It
over there
doesn't
is not a
matter
better
because
idea.
it doesn't matter because if Eric or Karen had gotten it right on the nose, we'd accuse them of cheating too.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Goddamn, are there any 1-star reviews?
No.
No, because they don't use the sequels as a
That was a
reasoning.
good throw.
I didn't give it a 1
No, don't
star.
give it to her. Don't give it to her.
Fucker.
Okay, here's a half star. I am glad never
Oh,
paid a
good
penny for
bitch.
such crappy movie. Wow, you can't even.
Such
says-
crappy
It says
movies.
I am glad never paid. This is all. This isn't even with. So there's no period or anything. It says I am glad never paid a penny for such crappy movie. It's. Let's see here. All right, another half star. Horrible, terrible. One of the worst films of the decade. Okay. All right, here's another half star. Worst movie of the 90s. Worst movie of the 90s. Straight horse garbage. Straight horse garbage?
Why'd they gotta bring the
Horses
horses
have
into it?
Yeah.
garbage.
I would say a horse died in this. You
Yeah,
should
the
be
horse
proud.
didn't do anything. He just died.
This
Wait.
should have been in memory of the horse.
Wait, horses have garbage?
Yeah, it comes out the butt.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be
Oh,
horse
you mean-
shit?
Here's a
They were-
2-star. If you turn your brain completely off and just take this for what it is, pure goofy slapstick, bombastic, exaggerated, overblown, messy, cheesy fun, then you might have a blast. I still thought it was not very good, but not terrible.
Then it should be a 3, not a 2. I mean,
I,
Or
I
2 and a
think a
half.
2 sounds
2
about
and a
right
half.
for that.
A 2.5 sounds right for that.
You think that guy ever did his house chores?
No.
Gets a 2-star rating because of the acting alone.
You can have it back when it's done.
The DERs were covered up. I don't know what DERs are. DEARHS.
Durs.
The deaths, I think. The deaths were covered up. The physics were overlooked, and the creatures could have looked more fearsome. I feel like the movie should have had more CGI. It's the fucking 90s. Which is,
What? More CGI.
Yeah, that's what it
you
says.
people are the ones ruining cinema.
it says, oh, wait, yeah, more CGI, which is something I don't feel often. Some creatures seem to die very easily, while others seemed almost impossible to kill.
None of them seemed impossible to kill.
There was only one.
What movie are you watching, dude?
There was one type of creature,
Yeah.
and of course some of them were harder to kill because they would
CGI.
get smarter.
You really want some CGI from the 90s in this?
Well, and
I think
not
there was
to
only, like,
mention,
one
like, I
part-
don't want CGI. I really like the practical
There was
effects.
one
Like, I
part where
just,
the CGI was in effect, and that was when they were in the basement shooting at the thing.
There was no CGI.
I didn't see. I saw
yeah.
no CGI.
Oh, you're talking about where he's like, and there was
Yeah.
like a screen.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Oh,
but
okay. Well, yeah.
I don't even know why they did that.
But that's
I
still a
don't
practical effect. Screens are practical effects.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they-
still a practical
yeah, but you
effect.
can definitely tell.
You could,
Sure,
yeah, you could
but-
definitely tell.
Well, you can always tell when it's a screen.
yeah.
Why was there
It's
a
part of the
screen
reason they
there?
stopped using.
I don't know why there was a screen
Yeah,
there, to be
I don't
honest.
know. But it was
Because
like
they could have
only
easily
one
filmed
real
that with
fast clip.
the way it was.
Oh.
Uh,
Maybe they just missed
Here's a star and a
something.
half. Tremors self-awareness can't compensate for a lackluster script and characters the audience cares absolutely nothing about. I did care for the characters.
Self-awareness.
I guess, yeah. There was no
I didn't.
self-awareness.
I didn't get any meta from this at all. Okay.
Star and a half. Not scary and ridiculous storyline. It's a fucking monster movie. Like what? Ridiculous storyline. Monsters. Ka.
How dare
I
you.
scoff at thee. I'll give you one more, and that's it. Here's a 1.5 or 2 stars. Sorry, slightly funny and original, but not enough to make you have any interest in the following events. Outdated special effects, which are almost laughable, and horrible plot holes make Tremors painful to watch. What plot holes? There was no plot here, period. It was about 2 guys trying to get out of town but couldn't because the fucking Tremors ruined it for them. So they
Killed them and left town.
Yeah, I don't understand what plot holes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see how there's plot holes.
Some people are just dumb. I don't even think. I think people just get on there and
Problems
write
with
shit.
the movie were like like the Chang.
Yeah,
He was bloody before.
yeah,
he
that
should
was
have been
it.
bloody,
Like that was the
and-
only really.
Well, the effects parts, like
Yeah.
the seeing the screen, those were really the problems. I don't think there was any.
I think for
problems.
practical effects and everything, it looks great. And also, there are no plot holes here because there's hardly any plot. There's hardly a plot here at all. I mean, there's this big of a plot. If you like, anyway,
There's as much plot as you need for a monster movie.
right. Yeah, you don't need much here. I mean, it's usually monster.
Your
movies
conflict is the monster.
Yeah,
You
the
don't-
conflict is the monster, and it's all about survival. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
Plot really gets in the way when you've got a monster
Oh
movie.
shit! What do you want? A bunch of fucking love story in here? Come on now.
I mean, you had as much love story as you needed in a
As
monster.
yeah, as much as you needed.
Yeah.
It was very thin, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate love stories. I hate it whenever they shoehorn love stories into movies, whenever they aren't necessary.
That's all you need in a monster movie is
Yeah.
just a little bit.
But then, like, all right, that guy likes that girl. End of story. They'll get together at the end of the movie.
She
In
took
the
her
meantime,
pants off though.
she did take her pants off. And that
He
was
took
cool.
her
I was
pants
okay
off.
with that.
Yeah, he took
He
her
took
pants
her
off.
pants off.
He helped.
Yeah.
She did most of the work.
It's true.
All right,
Sometimes
trivia.
That's the best.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
Trivia. All right.
S.S. Wilson said that he got the idea for the film while he was working for the U.S. Navy in the California desert. While resting on a rock, he imagined what it might be like if something underground kept him from getting off the rock.
So he had every 8-year-old's imagination.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what you used to think on a rock.
I don't think
Granted, maybe this movie was the one that fueled that imagination for me.
I
You ever
was gonna say,
sat
I
on a
never-
rock or anything and thought, well, there's like, or like,
The floor is lava.
the floor is lava. Yeah, it's essentially what it is. The floor is lava. You never did that as a kid?
No, I usually got beat for jumping on the furniture. So-
Oh, well, my dad was a dirtbag, so I was like, I was allowed to do whatever I
Yeah.
wanted.
Well, I wasn't. My mom beat us with.
Not at grandma's though. We used to be able to climb all over that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it doesn't
Grandma
even have
did
to be
let us.
furniture. I mean, like, you're like, haven't you ever tried to avoid grass while walking across, like, maybe pavers
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I did do that.
Don't
Same
step on
concept.
cracks.
That's true.
See, in Mississippi, there were these little stickers in my best friend's backyard, so I had to avoid the grass. There was no pretend. It was because stickers, they hurt.
They do. I've
Yeah.
had them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have them up here too. They're
So
just not as common.
Like, and her pavers were only like this big, and they led to the pool. Well, they only looked that big to me. I don't know how big they actually were, but like, because I was little. So I was like, I would walk across them, and for some reason, I always ended up in the grass.
It's terrible.
Cool.
One idea by the special effects crew was for the worms to have an outer shell when above the dirt. The shell would retract to reveal a slimier inner worm. However, many production members started to giggle at the phallic resemblance it had with a foreskin. So this was changed to the big worm sprouting several smaller worms from its mouth. That was one of the
Yeah.
ideas to save from having to show the worm.
Or, like, a dog dick. Hold on. I have this. Hold on.
I'll
hold
wait.
on. Shit, where's it? It's not on there. I didn't put that one on there.
Ah, okay.
My bad.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. Kevin Bacon originally resented being in Tremors, only agreeing to do it because he needed money for his new marriage and a upcoming newborn child. When the film was not financially
I mean,
successful,
how much money did he need?
Bacon feared his career was over, and in following years would refuse to acknowledge the film's existence, and even called it the worst thing I ever did. However, Bacon would eventually come around to Tremors, calling the filming of Tremors to be the single most fun time I ever had making a movie in my entire career. In 2012, and later admitting in a 2020 interview, when I was making Tremors, I was very depressed and at a low point in my life, and I kind of blamed Tremors for that. I was bitter against it, and I thought it was a career killer. I never watched my movies more than once. Some of my movies I've never even seen at all. But before and have no desire to, but I've watched Tremors a dozen times. I love it so much, and I spent years trying to capture that same energy we had on the set of Tremors. It's one of my favorite films of all time.
I will say that his energy in the movie was like the most fun I've ever I've ever had with Kevin Bacon in a movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like that, and maybe I think that's about it, really. I mean, he's had that sort of like he's tried to recapture that. I could see that in other movies. Like in this movie, he's just like this fun, goofy dude, and I like that. So.
Yeah, so see, I can forgive that a little bit
Yeah.
then, now knowing that it was because of where he was at in life, not the movie itself, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Although Tremors was not a big hit during its theatrical run, the film became a runaway smash in the home video market and ultimately tripled its original box office gross with VHS sales and rentals. The gag at the beginning of the film, where Val misses a staple 8 times with his hammer, was not entirely scripted and was Kevin Bacon's spontaneous idea. Fred Ward's reaction was completely genuine.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because I was watching that where I was like, he looks at that thing like, what the fuck, man?
Well,
like,
and you could kind of tell, like, the way he's swinging that hammer, he's not trying.
no, he's just like swinging it and just like.
And then the last one, you can see, like, he aims. And, Fred Ward's reaction is, like, what are you doing,
Because he looks at it, looks back at him like, it's kind of
like, this is the easiest thing in the,
Oh, literally, all you gotta do is hit that staple. Like,
The filmmakers were forced to add the scene towards the beginning where Rhonda is unknowingly stalked by a graboid as she heads to her truck, and the scene where old Fred is killed. They originally wanted no hint of a monster in the film until the road workers are killed to make the audience think a person may be the killer, such as with Edgar's death. The studio instead wanted to market the film as a monster movie and thus demanded more scenes involving on-screen kills before their big reveal. Composer Robert Folk was brought in at the very last minute to rescore the film. This was due to the original score composed by credited composer Ernest Troost was lacking the punch that it needed for the film musically. Approximately 30 minutes or more was written by Folk and strangely goes uncredited in the film's credits. Oddly enough, both scores are used in the film. Trust's score is more westernly and country-like with the usage of guitars and harmonicas, and is mostly used in the softer moments, whereas Folk's score is more epic and uses more trumpets and violins and big instruments, and is used more closer to the climax and in more intense moments.
you can hear the difference.
Yeah, and I put that in there because I've never heard of that before. I've
Yeah.
never heard of them using 2 composers and
Right.
intermixing it. I've never heard of that before.
Which could give a movie 2 different tones, but I mean, if that's what you're going for.
It didn't, though. That's the funny thing. Like,
Yeah.
I would have never known that had I not read that.
Right.
It kind of seamlessly mixes. The various sounds made by the graboids have become popular and reused in other films and can be heard in films such as Predator 2, Starship Troopers, Ants, Mosquito, Eight-Legged Freaks, and Kong Skull Island, among others. The graboids were designed by Amalgamated Dynamics. The full-scale graboid scene being dug up by Val was cast in lightweight foam, buried in a trench, and then dug up to achieve the desired effect. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, nowadays they'd use like some half-ass way of doing it. They literally, buried the thing to get it to look like that,
Yeah.
In each contest of rock, paper, scissors, Earl throws scissors. Val comments on their notoriety possibly getting him and Earl into People magazine. In the sequel, a framed cover of the People magazine with the 2 on the cover can be seen on Earl's wall. The film notably never answers where the graboids come from, but the characters do speculate it. Co-writer and producer S.S. Wilson felt that there were only 4 possible options. They were aliens, long dormant prehistoric life, worms mutated by radioactive waste, or creatures genetically engineered by government-funded mad scientists. Since the more savvy moviegoers would be expecting these twists, the filmmakers felt it would be more interesting and would leave the room open for sequels if there was no definitive answer and the audience was left to wonder. The script originally contained 6 graboids as opposed to 4. The additional 2 would have followed Stumpy off the cliff and fall to their gory deaths at the end, to add further meaning to Val's stampede plan. They were likely dropped to save money. The riffing on old 19...
I wouldn't have liked it anyway. I thought it'd been kind of dumb that all 3 of them would go.
Yeah, I
off.
like the 4.
Yeah.
The 4 was simplistic and added just simplicity that should have been there.
Yeah,
Like, it just...
I think it was adding 2 more, especially 2 that go off the cliff with the main one, would just be
I like the
it'd be
idea of the face-off.
oversaturated, yeah.
The face-off between Val
yeah,
and Stumpy.
Yeah.
The riffing on old 1950s sci-fi films sci-fi horror, but they thought it would be funny if, unlike in those films, their scientific expert had no clue where the creatures came from. The studio wasn't thrilled and actually asked them to write a scene where Burt finds a UFO and eggs. They wrote it, pitched it to the crew, and everyone agreed the idea was terrible. Despite filming in the desert, the first day of filming was so unusually cold that it actually began snowing, so the crew didn't get much usable footage. The eventual success of the film on home video is what inspired Billy Crystal to hire Ron Underwood to direct his next film, the even more successful City Slickers. Crystal, who was also a producer on that film, wanted frequent collaborator Rob Reiner to direct the hit, but Rob Reiner passed and suggested Underwood, who was a possible directorial candidate at the time, because of his work on this film. Crystal viewed this movie and enjoyed it so much he immediately approved Underwood to direct City Slickers. Val says to Earl about the graboids, "For all you know, they can fly." Near the end, when the graboid Stumpy falls to its death, Val says, "Can you fly, sucker?" In the third film, it turns out the third part of the graboid life cycle, dubbed the Ass Blaster, has the ability to fly. And that is it.
What would he have done if he flew off the cliff and he could fly?
And Cameron just swooped in and ate his ass.
Yeah, right. Ah!
I guess he can.
That's where the movie would take a really bad cheesy turn.
Yeah, that would be that would have been terrible. That would have been terrible.
where they
Insert explosion here is what it would go to.
Yeah.
They go to credits right after
VFX.
Yeah. And roll the film. Like, that's
The
it.
end.
All right, next week, what are we doing?
I don't know. I'm working on it.
Be a comedy. Be a comedy.
This was a comedy.
Be another comedy.
Tremors 2.
romance.
No.
Tremors 6.
Back to the Future.
All
I
right.
don't remember that.
Put
I've
that
never
one back
seen that
in.
movie before.
Or did you? Is it?
I told you what I did.
Okay. Oh.
Remember?
Calm down.
There's about 1 million tremors in there too.
We
That I have to throw away when I pull them.
What's it playing on, Karen?
I don't know.
I have them all on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I do too. That's why. Hold on.
I have like the special
You
edition
guys have all
like
the DVDs.
set. Or
I have
whatever.
streaming.
We are. Well, I'm a collector.
I
I
know.
tell you that
Oh
I've never
shit!
seen
It's
Back
not
to the
available
Future, Dad.
on any
All right,
of.
then I'll just have
Well,
to
hold
borrow
on.
it.
It's not available on any of mine. Let me look.
I've never seen
That's
Back
where
to
it
the
is.
Future.
Do you have
Yeah,
any of
you
those?
have.
No,
You watched it with me, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
Back to the Future.
Oh, fucking dude. There's a reason why they say that some movies cannot be remade. And this is one of those movies that it'll never be remade because it's a
have
near
it.
perfect movie.
It's on
I've seen
Prime,
clips
but
of
you
the
have to
movie.
rent it.
Because it'll be on TV and I'll be walking past where I'll stop and look at it, but I've never sat down and watched the movie before.
You've never seen Back to the Future?
Yeah. I
You
know.
will this
He's failing as a parent, isn't he?
You will this week. Well, I just watched it recently, like a few months ago, I
You
think.
gonna watch it Saturday?
Yeah.
Just bring
Yes.
it with you Sunday, and I'll. Or Sunday.
Remind me.
I will. I'll message you.
All right, next week we are doing Back to the Future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video and our channel and all that good stuff. And join us next week with Back to the Future. And don't forget to check out our TikTok, our X, our Facebook, and our YouTube. Scroll through them YouTube videos, man. Find some more that you might like. If you've seen one of the movies that we reviewed, watch the review. Why not? Check out our take on it. We'll give a lot of good trivia in there, and there's a lot of we've been doing these creator profiles, which I've been enjoying actually. I like learning new shit about actors and stuff that I didn't know, actors and directors. So, and if you guys have a suggestion on an actor or director that you guys want us to do, by all means, tell me, because I would love just tell me. I love doing stuff that people want to hear. So
Yeah.
Also, yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, comment and go to our Spotify and all that good stuff and give us some ratings. I like ratings. But I guess until next week, where we shall meet again
Have a
In
good
the
week.
future.
in the future,
The
not
future.
back in the future, but we're going back to the future.
Exactly.
Whatever that means. I don't even know what the fuck I just said.
That's
Anyway,
why we say exactly.
bye.
Come on.
Okay, bye.
Bye.